Hey, and welcome to Posy Vibes. I'm happy to sit down here today with the wonderful Lupita Rodriguez. She served an 18-month mission in California for the Church of Jesus Christ. She's an advocate for animal welfare, loves serving her community, and is a most cherished friend of mine. She's someone who's impacted and inspired me a lot and continues to serve others day to day. So let's get started. Welcome, Lupita. Welcome to the show. How's it going? What's going on?
Thank you. Well, right here, enjoying how technology works out. I know we had a little bit
Wow.
difficult connecting, but right here, ready to just
Oh,
share whatever I have and
usually,
you have.
yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear. Like, usually I'm like so ready to praise technology and global communication and being able to like reach out across countries. And like today, it just failed us big time. This was so hard to like get us into this recording session. And
Yeah.
hopefully the audio sounds good. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, people. Just starting out. We'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there. So thank goodness. But I am happy that we do get to sit down and talk because it's been a while, and I know you've had lots of stuff going on. So
A lot.
yes. You wanna talk about it?
Yeah, for sure. So, well, I've been, a lot of people know, especially on my social media. I have a lot of things going on right now, not only with me, but with my family. I just had a cousin that got into an accident, and she has been in the hospital going for 3 weeks now. So that's a lot of thing to, um, I don't know, I would say a lot of pressure, not only on me but the entire family, because with those things
Mm-hmm.
that come unexpectedly, so many things come unexpectedly, and you just got to find ways how to get help there, get help here. And then with that, I've been going through a little bit of stress at work, so there's like a lot of things that keeps piling up. And I'm just trying my best to survive, to make sure I take it easy, because stress is not good.
Yeah, I want to say we've known each other for about 3 years, I think. Is that fair to
Yeah,
say?
about that.
And which just actually doesn't even seem that long, considering how often I've seen you. It's just like it feels like it's been way longer. But like
True.
I honestly have seen you go through a lot of stuff, and just like in this recent last couple of months, I guess for a lot of people too, since the pandemic, honestly,
Yeah.
just a lot of tragedy has been striking, and it's been just hard to stay positive and pull through that because it's just like everywhere you look on all social media, so and so is sick, so and so has passed away, or this is happening, that's happening. It's just all bad news and negativity. It's just
Girl, yeah, I
like
agree. I've been got my share of bad news in my family a lot. Not only with my, what I mentioned earlier, my cousin. Um, a few months back too, my grandmother also passed away due to the same, COVID, and also I had an
my
aunt suffering
condolences.
from thank you. And I just am very impressed how they're all just trying their best to fight these diseases and stuff they're going through.
How is it that you deal with the tragedy and stress that is happening around you? Because it's not like you're just idly sitting by. I know that you're very active in supporting your family and supporting your community and, getting the word out and trying to do everything you can in your power.
Yeah, for sure. It's been, um, for me then, oof, that's a good one. Sometimes even me think about it. How am I managing all of these things?
Yeah.
But honestly, Kristen, I think for me it would be, like your show says, positive vibes. you
Exactly,
know,
yes.
I try to be as positive as possible. I try to just always think, um, the right things, not trying to lower down my self esteem, or
Hmm.
whatever the case may be, to let me feel worse of the situation. So, there's another big thing for me is I'm a Christian. And I know a lot of things happen for different reason, but for me, it's all God's timing and His plans and His ways for life. With the passing of my grandmother, it was something very sensitive to the entire family because she had 14 kids. And
Yeah,
it was very
it's a big
beautiful to
family.
see. Oh yeah, it was beautiful to see that she was able to raise 14 of them. And a beauty of it that helped me cope with that is that my grandmother, she had 14 kids and she did not had to bury any of them. She saw them live a full life and their children and so on. So I start looking at the positive side of those things, and that brings me a lot of comfort. And then with my cousin getting in this accident, like you said, I've been up and down, because medical expense is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Surgeries and those things are just a
The
mountain of
wild.
cash that you need to search for. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been out there. We're doing fundraising. We do GoFunds. So many things. And Kristen, like I said, you will never understand it until your family gets into that situation. Because honestly, like I've seen a lot of people sales for expensive. And I try my best to sponsor as much as I can. But you never see the urge for helping until it happens to your very own. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's sad to say it that way, but it's true, until it
Until it hits
happens
home,
to,
you
yeah,
don't
exactly.
realize.
And that's what happened to me lately, and I've seen the stress not only in the family but even at the community hospitals and what everyone go through. It's just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But slowly but surely, I have friends that contact me, see how I'm doing. That's what I love, Kristen. People, although I don't have the time to message them back because I could take forever to reply a message, but knowing that they're there just cheering me on and giving me that motivation, it just makes me feel good, and that I have people that actually care about my well-being.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, that's very beautiful. Like I witnessed the community just come together and just support one another. I mean, like, how does that make you feel? Just knowing that something has actually happened to your family directly, and witnessing the people coming together to support you, to donate, sharing, and fundraising. Like, what is that like?
Yeah, honestly, Kristen, I gotta say my twin town, San Ignacio and Santa Elena, is pure love. I'm not gonna lie, Kristen. Like
Kaya, I
I
love you.
know, yeah, Kaya, I love. Beautiful when this accident happened. People just reached out like, crazy, like, hey, do you have an account so I could deposit money? Hey, are you guys doing anything? Can I give this? People were just basically asking, and I never gave my bank account out there for people to send for an accident or whatever the cause may be. So when it was my first time putting out there for my cousin, I've seen people just sending, and I was like,
Hmm.
you know and some of them would say, hey, it's not a lot, but I hope it helps. And when I read that, it just gave me like a smile on my face, and I got warm. I'm like, hey, a little
It
goes a
counts.
long way.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it does count.
yeah, and then the beauty to Christian people that, like me and my cousin, we've been through primary school together, high school together. We got work at the same call center together. We did everything together, right? So we knew basically the same people. And when I saw these donation coming in, Kristen, it was people that we knew from primary school that we haven't spoke to in years, people that
Mm,
we've
wow.
seen from high school, and people from our job. And to me, it was
Yeah.
just pure love because we haven't spoke to these people in years, but me, they would say, hey, here's a little money for your cousin because she was always happy, she was always and trying to
Mm.
do good. People see the good in you, Kristen, and that's how people actually feel like, feel that love and to give towards you when something happened. And
Yeah.
people are just like trying their best. And we also had a barbecue sale, Kristen. Everything sold out, you know
Yes.
and it was just a miracle and a very eye-opening situation, not only for my cousin, but if the community can get together just like this for her, imagine for other people and how much more this town we could do to help each other.
It really is that. Yeah, exactly. It really is the people just coming together. It's like we're always stronger together than individually, you know? Just saying a bundle of sticks is stronger than a single stick, right? And
Yep.
just like the people coming together is it's so beautiful. It's just so magical and like honestly, like when that happens, when myself I've witnessed it, it's just like it feels right. Like, ah yes, of course this is how we're supposed to be, you know? We're supposed to be generous and care for one another and just like be compassionate and it's just it feels right and it's so empowering to see that and like that's literally what you were saying about positivity, like that's exactly what I want you to spread, to shed light to talk about, instead of just like all the negativity and focusing on that. It's like this is, this happened.
Exactly.
This is happening right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And then also, Kristen, that even me, you know me from for a while now, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
always about being happy, being positive, cheering people
Yeah.
up, and giving service, right? But
Yeah.
the funny thing is that when all of this happened, I felt like I had to do more. I feel
Mm.
like, the little that people did, it showed me a bigger example that, hey, I need to buckle up and, I need to give more service and I need to, just like you're doing, giving that positive vibe.
Yeah, I love that. Like that, I have such a big smile on my face right now because it's like that has been on my mind too lately, and I just like honestly, I've told you this before, and like you honestly were one of my favorite people that came to me in a time that I needed it so badly, and like you had no idea what you were doing or anything. You're just trying to, you just came to me in a dark time, and you just you shine a light, right? You were that positive vibes, and like I could see that you made that effort to be kind and friendly and be like smiling and just like it helped me so much. It lifted me up so much that like it made me want to do that for other people, like just how you feel that now, how like someone's done that for you. That was the feeling I felt wanting to do that for other people. And it just like I appreciate that. And I just love spreading that because so empowering, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just it's like a next kind of energy, just wanting to serve other people, wanting to
agree.
just
Exactly.
you know, it's beautiful.
No, that's true, And then I love that you mentioned, thank you for that too. But I love that you mentioned, I was like a light towards you, full of energy. And if we would turn that around, Kristen, for me, it was the same for you because, like, when you were here in Belize, you were always like trying new stuff and just, I see Kristen getting into this, getting into that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. No? And it just made me feel like, wow, Kristen is going there strong and she's actually doing good, even sometimes if you fail, you still continue, until you find what
Yeah.
makes you happy. And that's something that motivated me on my end, like if Kristen can do this, I like for sure I can do it too, like you just
Yeah.
show that energy and let's do it. You didn't worry about anyone or anything, you just did you. And that's what I loved about you.
Oh, girl, you made me cry. Honestly, that just wow. I really feel that warms my heart. Thank you. Just that is like how just how I try to live my life. I feel like being in Belize was such a bold time for me, being on my own. Like literally, I was on my own for the first time
Yeah.
in technically my home country, but none of my like immediate family lived there. So it was just like, okay, I can do whatever I want. I can reinvent myself and who cares? Like whatever. If this doesn't work out, I'll just move to the next town. That was literally my mentality, and I did move a couple of times.
True. But hey, you
I
did
was just
meet
like, hey,
friends,
whatever.
that
Yeah,
became
and
basically your family. With my family, you could definitely count them in as your family. We love
yeah,
you,
of
and
course, I love your
we're
family, and like you
always
guys
there for
welcome
you.
me, and that was just yeah, and I feel like that's just a level of like hospitality and generosity that I didn't experience very often, like since outside of Belize. And it was kind of shocking, but it was very warming at the same time. I was like, oh wow, this is just so loving and like just for a little backstory, it was actually like I guess it was your mom that kind of came up to me one time during church when Cream introduced me to you and one of our mutual contacts introduced me to you and then your mom just came up to me during after the service and just started talking to me and just like she was like she said just these words that just like oh, it just hit me so deep at the time. She's like I just looked at your eyes in the crowd and I just felt like I needed to reach out to you and I was just like, damn, like, cause like at the time I was like, yeah, I needed people to support me and to like reach out to me, and it was just like she saw that. I was like, oh, you know,
Yeah,
it was just like a
yeah,
type of that moment of being seen and like, oh, that's I just try my best now because of it, I experienced it from somebody else that I just want to give that to somebody else so badly, just like
yeah.
to pass it forward.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about life. There's so many things we could pass forward. And like you right now, that feeling that you got, you're actually doing a big deal right now with this podcast that you have. As many people reach out, they will be saying the same thing about you, and they will try to follow what you're doing. You'll be like an inspiration because you're already an inspiration to me. So imagine to others.
I really appreciate that. I like I don't have any better words to say besides like thank you, just for sharing that. Because that's exactly what I do try to do and I want to be like a good influence and like just uplift other people. So, I feel like that's exactly what like, someone like yourself is very good at being as well as like a role model and just like influencing other people and inspiring them to be just a better version of themselves. And what would you say is your best advice to someone who may be going through what you've gone through like recently and how to stay positive and how they can cope in a healthy way?
Yeah. Well, my advice would be honestly just, the first thing I mentioned, try to be as positive as you can. It's hard. It's going to be hard actually. But try to stay around people that have that same positive vibe as you. You don't want to be around people like for me, for example, I know I'm a little bit different than others. I don't drink and I don't do a lot of stuff that people will consider fun or to calm their self down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would stick more around my family. They give me a lot of advice, a lot of um, like mentoring, and
Yeah.
just to feel that energy of love, Kristen, I would say energy of love, because going through those hard times, all you actually want is someone to love you, maybe
Yeah,
come
of
and
course.
give you a little hug just to take off that little stress,
Yeah.
squeeze out
Yeah.
that stress, you know
Yeah.
um
Squeeze out the
and
stress. Yeah.
yeah, actually,
That is
like,
literally how it feels. It does feel like that, just squeezing it away. It's like, ah, it's gone now. All right, we're good.
yeah, it was very interesting. Let me just share this before I continue. With this past 2 weeks when I was up and down with my cousin, I was, Kristen, I was busy. When I say busy, I didn't have a time to even sit down, you know
Hmm. Yeah, I
and
can imagine.
I had this friend that just gave me a hug out of nowhere, and it was surprising because usually my family would give me a hug, but they wouldn't even see me because I was so busy,
Hmm.
and I just wanted to cry. It was like, wow, I've been going through so much too.
Just been
One is
going,
just
going.
seeing me as like, oh, she got this. She's up and down. She doesn't
Yeah.
need anything right now. They see you very like, yeah,
They see the strong side
but
of you. They didn't see
yeah,
because like you were just going, going, right? They didn't see the vulnerable
exactly.
side.
But if they would only know that little hug, Kristen hugged me,
Yeah.
helped me so much. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
have to like take me out for a dinner or like
They
buy
didn't
me
solve all your
something.
problems or anything. They
Yeah,
just it's just an act of kindness. Like oh, I feel like that.
yeah,
I feel that so deeply because like it's just that small act of kindness that can really and like uplift somebody. Even
Yeah.
strangers, at the store, you just be kind to
Oh,
somebody when you're
exactly.
walking by them.
Just a smile to change their day too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it costs you nothing, and it's just,
I
won't
love
you,
that. It costs
like,
you
wouldn't you rather,
nothing.
yeah, wouldn't you rather, like, go around just smiling instead of frowning?
Yep, that's true. And now that we don't really have to wear a mask in Belize, I guess all the
Yeah.
Belizean who's hearing, make sure you pop that little smile when you can.
Yes,
But
now that you have a mask removed, you can't, no excuse to not smile.
yeah. But other than that too, Kristen, something like I mentioned, because
Yeah,
this life is about changes. No matter who you were or what you did,
yeah,
you could always change. And something that
yeah,
I've always told my friends, Kristen, never let your past be the judge of you or anyone be the judge of you. You know who you are and you know where you're going or where you want to be. And my advice will always be to stick around people that have that same mentality, that same path, that same vibe. Don't be around people that will bring you down or destroy your goals or your visions. You want people to motivate you to be the best of you.
exactly. Round of applause. Snap, snap, snap. Yes. I love that. That's amazing. Yes, I love that. And yeah, you really can't let your past define you. I feel that so much because I feel like I'm somebody who changes so often, like every couple of the years. I just have this type of like growth spurt and just like, oh, you can't like. What if I just stayed the same that I was, 5 years ago because I was like, oh, this is who I am. This is who I always am. But it's like, everybody, it's never too late to change. It doesn't matter if you're 50 years old or 12 years old or 20. Like you can still change.
Oh
Like
yeah, I definitely agree on that one.
of course,
100.
and you can grow. So you were saying that like it seems that you have like a really good support system that would be your family and you would and God that you go to that really carry you through bad times.
I do, Kristen, but sometimes I have a little pride and I don't ask for the help. you
Yeah.
know but I do have a good support system. I won't lie, my family is always there for me, and I do have like my church people, they're there for me. Sometimes, Kristen, I am guilty of this, but sometimes I need the help but I don't ask for it. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have that little pride that doesn't make you want to
Oh yes,
ask
I'm
or reach out
familiar.
for
I
help.
I'm very familiar with that. Yes.
So
The poison of pride. Yeah.
yeah, and then through all these things that I've been through for the past months, years, I had some time that honestly I reach out to some people and be like, hey, I'm really sad, you know, and
Mm,
that's not me. That's not me,
mm,
for telling like sharing my feelings, but it was beautiful, that maybe they didn't have the words. I have a friend; she does not have the words when I'm in those situation, right? But
mhm,
she's always say, I'm here, you could write everything you want and I will. She just like, it's beautiful because like I understand her. She doesn't have never had words to say when I'm going through rough moments, but she will always maybe try to send something fun or cute just to motivate me. And I think honestly it's just that the thought and that she wants to
yeah.
uplift me, it's cute and funny that it makes my
It's the
day.
effort. Yeah. It's the act, the effort behind it, of course. That's super sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like I understand what you're saying because I feel like we are alike in that way that when we're dealing with stuff in life, it's just we don't show our weak side, right? We want to be very strong and
Yeah.
just like, we got this. It's under control. We don't want to show any flaws. We got it. It's all good. But like,
Yep.
deep down, you need help. You need some relief
Yes.
from all this pressure, but you don't want to ask for it. And like for me, like I know I need to ask for help, but why don't I? I'm like I'm not gonna do it, but like I need to do it, and then I just end up fighting with myself in my head, and just like that just because of that pride, that not wanting to ask for help. It's so restrictive,
Yeah.
but it's like once you toss that out of the way, it's like, and you have a little like that's what I learned, like humility, right? I think that's what it is,
Yes. There we
just
go.
learn a little bit of humility to say, hey, I don't got my shit together. No, it's not all good. I'm not okay. Like, I need some help here, right?
Yeah,
And
I
like,
agree.
let's talk about like the church, if you don't mind, like talking about it a little bit, since you mentioned like that
Yeah.
is how we did get to know each other, was actually through the church. And that's
Yes.
the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. And that was that is literally like the point in my life where I was like humbling myself, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was going to God. I grew up Catholic in like until I was like 10. I went to church and stuff, everything. My grandma made us go, but I didn't like care for it. It's just like I just had to go because like they took me.
Yeah.
But and like after that, I went to school and like they taught us like atheism and
Yeah, I remember
agnosticism,
you
which is
told.
like, not believing in either, not knowing what to believe in. So like I
Yeah.
lost complete like faith in God or anything like that. I just thought, and then like when I came back, I hit such a low point where I was like, okay, I'm going to open myself up to this. I'm going to see what this is about. And I had such a lovely person who was a coworker and a friend that introduced me to the church and introduced me to you and to missionaries and like learning to and just encountering people that were just so generous and open and compassionate. And they didn't know me, we didn't have any history, but still like they made an effort to everybody made the effort to connect with me and make me feel welcome. And it was really humbling because I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, I should have done this a long time ago. I should have asked for help. Why did I spend all these years suffering alone? Like, like that humility it was a good dosage. And like it's not like my messages to other people, like, and they don't necessarily need to reach out to God per se or to this specific church or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's more like just learning humility, learning to humble
Yes.
yourself, and not being so against asking for help. You can be afraid to ask for help. I don't think it's wrong, but you just have to still be courageous and still do it anyways, you know?
For sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Kristen. You know, there's like, how could I put it? For those, like I said, I am a Christian, but for those, who are going through it and don't have a God, what's the word I'm looking for?
A
Like,
faith.
yeah, a faith, right? They don't have a faith. Something that I was actually discussing earlier with my dad. You know, that's the reason we need to be humble or to be brave enough to go to these counselings.
Yeah.
Because my dad is a counselor, right? And I've seen he counsel a lot of people, and it just bring them joy and happiness. They reach out to my dad on unexpected days and be like, hey, like I did this today, and they have someone they could lean on to give this exciting news or information, and that person will like cheer them on. So, people just need that one friend that they could rely on and know that it's their love is like genuine, not faking or anything. Because, I mean, honestly, love is something very beautiful, Kristen. And when we feel that, it's just, we know we're home. We know we could, like you said, when your friend invited you to church, I'm pretty sure you felt that that person cared for you, wanting you
Yeah.
to find your way. You don't know what way, but finding something that could make you feel a
Yeah.
little bit calmer, a little bit peace of mind, you know? And,
Yeah.
that is what people need, some direction where they could feel calm in a positive way or feel peace in a good way, right? Because we don't want anyone to um, go the wrong way, because everyone has an opportunity in their life. For me, everyone has a gift. Everyone has a destiny, somewhere they're going where they could be great, but they just don't know it yet. But that's the reason we need to be positive, and we need to be a help and a strength to others all around us. Like we were discussing earlier, to just be that one person to cheer up someone's life. You never know, by your action or whatever you do could change a person's life, you know?
I
But
agree. I completely agree. I do think that people are there's so many, I've known so many people that are just destined for greatness. They're so talented, they have so much potential, abilities, and skills.
You.
And thank you. You as well, like you and your whole family. Like we talked about this before. I've talked like with all your brothers and your siblings, like just like there's so much potential, so much talent, and I feel like people just get distracted and they just get led off the path of that
Yeah,
stuff to,
I
like,
agree.
and it has to do, I think a lot of it, it has to do with a lot of things, but one of the main components is not having that sort of influence, I believe, like
I
the
agree
youth.
there.
Like the icons and knowing about people that are doing stuff. Like you mentioned your father, and well, I guess, is it okay to say his name? Because I mean, everybody knows who it is that they're
Yeah.
listening to this. Omar Rodriguez, Counselor Omar Rodriguez.
There we
Like,
go.
so, like, the fact that he does these counseling sessions and all this stuff to empower the youth, and like he does other things too as well, like other training sessions as well with the police, I understand, and like he's
Yeah.
like has a history of service and community service, and you guys, your family has a foundation and all this sort of stuff that is just in the background, that if you know the people, you don't know about it, but it's up to the people to spread it and not just talk about the bad stuff that happened down at the Chinese and who got robbed and who crashed into this person and stuff. Like, talk about the good things as well.
Yes, exactly. I
And
agree
like,
there, Kristen. And just to spark a little thing on my dad, he have always been a very beautiful inspiration to me. The reason why, Kristen, is my dad is one of those person which sometimes I feel like I could relate you both, because
mhm.
my dad is someone that he tries something. If he fails, he tries again. And if he fail again, he try one more time. And if it doesn't work out
Exactly.
for him, he moves on,
Yes,
And
I love it.
Kristen, my dad have done so many jobs, many past jobs. He failed at many, and he, strive at many, and something
Oh,
very
I
cute.
love
My
that.
dad
Yes.
always saying is he's still finding his dream job. He has a lot of things going on, yes, but he
Yeah.
doesn't stop there. He's continuing, just like when you find something, continue with different things, because
Yeah.
there's so many opportunities to grow and to develop skills. You don't know it yet, but what's hard to try, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel that because I failed at so many more things than I have succeeded. Like, that's the hard work of success, and like working on projects and building something. You have to try a bunch of stuff, like skills, and you just have to keep trying until you find something that, aha, I got it. Like, I find my flow. I got it. And it's just,
Exactly.
yeah, and shout out to your dad, Omar Rodriguez, and for like continuing to do that, because like I think that's just more people need to know about and to see, like to have that shown in the public eye, just having positive influences in the
Yeah.
media, and not just the influencers. Like I see people, like I've been on belizean, like Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, and seeing like who's talking, who's most active and who's
Yeah.
in the social influence circle. And a lot of it isn't it's not great stuff. It's not the what we that really develops our culture and develops our country. Not that that's what I'm expecting, but like, it's like, you see to watch the music videos, and there's just people shaking their booty, ladies shaking their booties, guys with their
Oof.
guns and money, and just like, and smoking and alcohol, and it's like, come on, like, I get that that's easy to sell, but is that really
Yeah.
what we want to support as, like, coming from our country? Like, that's everything. Like, those are the people that are most successful. Is like those ones, instead
Yeah.
of, like, so yeah.
I really like that you pointed that out, because for me, everyone has their way of entertainment, right?
Yeah,
But like
true.
you said, these people are very, like, let's say, Belizean famous, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind they do what they're doing, but if they could probably, advertise, like, hey guys, come on, do service at maybe a service spot, or come on, help here, if they would
Yeah,
use their fame to bring positive energy also, not only
exactly. Yeah.
what their entertainment are looking for,
Yeah.
but help them reach a good direction too, in
Yeah.
looking at other things that they can do in Belize to let us grow, because honestly, Kristen, I don't mind they entertain for the ages maybe 18 up, that's what we legal ages. But now, what about the little kids that are looking up to these people? Because TikTok is very famous, we know, worldwide. And right now, kids from age, I'm not kidding, 3 up have TikTok, and they
Yeah.
watch all these videos. If they could, and they would like these people sometimes, but whatever they're showing is not for them, so what if they could just bring a little bit positive energy somewhere, just to enlighten these young
Yeah.
minds? Remember, kids, no, oof, it's like my little brother Zion. He's like a parrot. I'm not kidding. Whatever he see, whatever he hear, whatever we do,
Absorb it.
he copies every single thing, and these are when these kids need to be enlightened more of what's going on in our little Belize, so they are the future. So
Yeah.
if we could just enlighten them in those ways. And yeah, like I said, we have so many great TikTokers, I'm not gonna lie. If they could use that to bring positive vibes also, and I think someday it would be awesome if you could, have a talk with them, a podcast too. But
Yeah, like speaking of influencers, I have been thinking about it and like wanting to work my way up to that. Um, it's just I know of, for me personally, the one that I've seen that has been doing like the positive influencing and trying to build, I feel like build a brand, build more than just posting funny videos and making trending stuff with their friends. Um, he's actually, I think his name is Yuhan Belize on TikTok, and uh, have you seen him?
yes, yeah, the Asian guy, right?
Yeah, I think it's from Taiwan, like
Yeah,
Taiwan Belizean, and I can see that he's putting in the effort to make his videos a production. Like the editing, the writing, the narration. There's an effort. It's not just like whip out the camera and do the basic bare minimum, which I feel like a lot of people do, just the bare minimum. Like,
yeah,
but he's trying to put in an effort to make a personality of himself online, which is like
yeah,
no secret now. Social media has been around a while. They have a personality that is a social media personality. That's not how they are all the time in real life, but it's like they're building a brand. They're building a social media face
Mhm.
front for themselves.
And with that too, I love that he incorporate his family.
Yeah.
He has his family there also joining his videos, and
And the man, they
what
always big up Belize. He's always bigging up Belize.
exactly.
He's not
And
trashing on it and like
talking
insulting us,
about him,
nothing.
just to give him a little spotlight too, I saw him at the Spanish Lookout Expo, and he was doing talks about the Belizean products, the Belizean stuff, Belizean that, and his family was super nice to people that came up and asked for pictures,
Yeah.
and so it's beautiful that they could be that, because I know there's some TikTokers that they might feel themselves too much and be like, like I want pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Which is I'm also nothing
but
about that.
it,
But
it's
like, but yeah, exactly. It's like he has humility, He's like they're very humble about it, and like it's
exactly
genuine. Like I feel like it's genuine. It's not just for show and like to be fake and like get make money off of TikTok. It's like he's genuinely trying to do something, like with his platform and serve a purpose. Like do provide service to others, and he like bigs up businesses all the times, and like stuff like that is so smart. I love seeing that. That is entrepreneurship, and there's other influencers that like I like watch as well. I feel are really impressive. Like they're very impressive. Like David Morey, the comedian as well.
yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, of course. Like I like it's very impressive. He's putting in a lot of work into his craft, and like with the constant postings every day, it's like, oh, he's not just like messing around and just doing it like on the side. He's trying to do this full time. Like I love that ambition. Like
and
that ambition.
Yeah, and with that, Kristen, see these vision to support these young.
Yes.
Not to discriminate them or laugh about them, but we need to push them. Continue. Yes, this is a great entertainment. You're not only making, adults laugh, you're going generally to everyone,
Yeah.
I think that's something a lot of Belizean needs to, when it's positive things, Kristen, they need to support more. Because I notice
Yeah.
when it's not positive stuff, like, like when you say shaking their booties or whatever, there are like a lot of energy there and a lot of
Yes.
stuff. But when it comes to people trying to build up their career,
That
or
energy is not
being,
there. Yeah.
yeah, it's not there, and it's so sad. That's why when
Yeah.
I see, like, for example, here in the Twin Town, Kristen, we have like it's like a pop-up market we do with all people that create
Yep.
their own stuff, Belizean made stuff. When I see this, I don't think she'll mind because she's do you know Princey? I think she calls Princey Bose or something like that. I don't know if you ever saw her stuff
I'm
at the
not
market.
familiar. No.
But anyway, she has two beautiful daughters, and she's a mother, right? And the way she sells her products, she started very humble a few years ago. And I'm not kidding. I admire the girl from where she was until now. And when she posts she's at the market, I try to share her posts, for people to see, hey, this girl is out there trying her best for her girls and her family. These are the things we should also be sharing on social media. Sharing people, like,
exactly.
for example, someone's going out there, Belizean made stuff, trying their own stuff to get that sale. Even if we're not purchasing, Kristen, the best we could do is share their page, or
and it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing.
Exactly.
Like I feel like that's the easiest thing for me, because I've been somebody that rarely has money to donate or just buy stuff and give to other people. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna share it, because I don't got the money to support your business, but I'm gonna share it. And like, especially if you have international people as well in your network, because you never know who may be interested in, like, for example, you share a small business's account page or their little sale. Somebody in the next country wants to order a shipment of them, and then they get that international business sale just from your one little share. You don't even know about it, and just
and I noticed too that due to the pandemic, what we went through, I noticed a lot of Belizean brought out their talent that they probably never thought they had.
They got time to themselves.
Exactly. And just seeing this, I'm like, whoa, like, we Belizean, we have talent,
I feel that, like, let's talk about that, because like I feel like the pandemic, especially if people had to work from home and they're isolated, and like, especially from us in Belize, because I know everybody had curfew. It was like a moment that like made or broke people, like it was a constant test for everybody, and everybody had to go through it. Like, nobody was really not affected by it. And that was where people they got to find themselves and find that they're wounded or they're injured and they needed healing, and they needed to find some purpose in their life, and they wanted to do this, and they loved, and they're actually passionate about that. And I've seen a lot of entrepreneurship amongst like my people that I know, and I love it. And just like, okay, this one is also doing a TV show, and this one is doing that, and this one's starting music. Oh my god, I love it. And like, this one's performing, and this one's dancing, and it's like, like, I love seeing that, and just sharing it, and just bigging up one another. And like, I feel like people are too critical of one another. It's like, oh, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't good, so I'm not gonna support it. But it's like, everybody starts off somewhere, like nobody started off perfect the first time they did something. Just like tolerate it and allow people to be bad until they're good, support them until they're good.
Yeah. And even Kristen, even if you feel like they could have improved in a certain way, well, you could always tell them, good criticism. That's true. Really good.
Constructive criticism, not just insulting and bashing somebody. Constructive criticism.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of time us Belizeans, I'll say us because sometimes, including me, sometimes we bring down people, and especially on social media. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
But if we could always just, try to help people, let them know, hey, you could have done better here, or maybe if you think you could do the best, go help them, show them the way how to do it.
Offer to help you.
Exactly.
That literally is the community connecting. Like, that's my freaking dream. The community is connecting. You're reaching out to one another, collaborating and building upon it. building groups and getting to know people and networking and stuff like that. That's how like you just grow because you get connect with other creative people and you build something that you never even dreamt of or thought of, and it's beautiful.
Exactly. I agree. And you know something, Kristen, it's very interesting now that you brought that up. Connecting. You know, for these past days, few weeks, sorry, I'm not sure if you heard about the young guy that passed away, you know, with the motorcycle accident for my cousin.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so it's very interesting that the community of the cyclers, the guys that ride
Hmm.
bikes, you know, all of them, you know, it's beautiful how they come together and, you know, they did like
They had
what's
a
the
ride,
word?
huh?
Yeah, a ride for him.
I saw the
And
video. Yeah,
it
I shared it.
was
I love
it
that.
was heartwarming. Like, I'm not kidding. I started crying because
Mm,
there was this one guy's like, okay guys, we're having a ride for our buddy for one last time, you know, and just to
yeah.
see all of them come together, because this guy, I didn't know him like that, Kristen, but from his friends and from my cousin and from his sister that I got to know in this past few weeks, it was just love from this guy. I mean, maybe we've heard, you know, other people saying things about him. I don't care about that. I love the positive things that came out from this guy.
Yeah.
He was always a friend to help them if in case something broke on their cycle. He was there to help them. He taught them the first, you know, how to first ride, how to do this. It was just a beautiful love connection between all of them, that when this guy announced a ride for him, all of
Yeah.
them came out, you know? And that's the energy and love that we need in the community, like you mentioned.
That's because it shows you how one person impacted so many people. Like they just
Exactly.
made the effort to come out, and it just truly shows. So
Mm-hmm.
like we were saying, you know, just always be kind to everybody you come across because it goes a long way. Like I remember people from my past who I don't even have contact with anymore, but because of what they said or did, still I remember it to this day. And like if like I heard something happen to them, I'd come out for them. You know, like I feel it. You know, just be kind, just be a good
That
side to other people.
I really like that, Kristen. And you know, for a lot of people out there, you know, sometimes you feel like, oh, you know, this is, sometimes I'm like, maybe something happened to someone that I haven't spoken in years, Kristen.
Hmm.
And I, in my mind, I'm like, should I reach out? I do really want to reach out, but what if they're saying I'm just like, you know, the word metich, get into their business, you know? And sometimes I honestly feel like that, you know? But, you know, after all, it's just you caring for someone. It's how
It's
they want to take it,
intention,
you
yeah.
know? It's on the
Yeah,
other
and we
end,
can't
it's how they
control
will
that.
want to take it. Because
Mm.
I personally would reach out, you know, like, I'm sorry, you know, if there's anything I could do, like, you know, just give your best, and it's up to them. You know, you've done your part, and you feel that peace and calm now, instead of worrying, I should have asked, I should have done that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just,
Exactly. Like, and it's about your intention. Like, exactly that. It doesn't. You can't control how somebody else will react to what you intended,
exactly.
but you know that you came from a good place. You didn't mean anything by it, and like anything negative by it. And it's up to them to take it the proper way, you know, like and be mature about it and understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, it's about where your heart is, where your attention is coming from.
Exactly. Agree there.
Yes, gal. Man, well, we're coming to the end of our time, but
Yes.
I want to end with ask my final question, which is,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to the you from like 5 years ago if they were listening to you now, and what would you say to you 5 years from now?
To me, 5 years from now, what would I say to
And
myself?
yeah, and to the you 5 years past,
Ooh.
your past self
Okay.
and your future self.
All right, let's start with the past then. For my past of 5 years ago, I would say, girl, just go for your dreams. Girl, just don't listen to what people say. When you want to do something, go for it. The only person stopping you is you.
Hmm.
And, you know, I would definitely let myself know that the future is in my hand. I could do anything I want. And just, you know, happiness. Once you feel happiness and love and joy, continue that direction. Continue with all the opportunities that you feel that feeling, and just endure to the end. Once you have that happiness and love, Kristen, I would say to myself, just continue where you're going because you're going the right direction. Now, for the future me,
I love that, by the way. I love that. Yes, that was amazing. Okay, what would you tell future self?
Future self, I hope in the next 5 years I come back to this podcast.
I love it.
For my future self, I'll tell her, hey, I hope you took the advice I gave you 5 years ago.
Hello.
I would tell you, girl, but if you feel you're still not there, don't worry. This is a journey. Things might not go perfect, and that might go the way you wanted it, but there's a time for everything, and your time will come to shine. If you're not comfortable where you are, continue trying. Just continue trying. You'll be there someday. But I will just make sure that I'm at peace, I have love, and that I'm trying my best to succeed to the person I want to become, Kristen.
That was amazing, and I love that. Thank you so much, Lupita, for being on my podcast and being my next guest. And I love talking to you, and I'm so glad we met. And to everybody who gets to listen to this, I want to thank you for staying with us and listening. I hope you found some value in what we shared here today, and I hope you leave here feeling a little bit more positive. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Lupita.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.